Hello, and thank you for coming to my informative presentation. My name is India Eichelbach-Goss, and I'm an Environmental Resources Engineering major at HSU. This is my second year at HSU, and in my environmental engineering courses so far, I've studied a lot about the different ways that we manage the waste that humans produce. And while I think that managing it is very important, I think it's even more important if we as consumers and people in general, just leading our normal daily lives, could just be a little bit more thoughtful about the waste that we produce in the first place. That's why today I would like to talk about how to reduce waste. I will include a lot of different tips and methods that I use myself, as well as different methods that I've seen other people use and ways that just logically sound good. So first we will talk about reducing waste at home, then we'll talk about reducing waste while out in public, and we'll also go over reducing waste in the workplace, which could mean a lot of different things, especially right now. So I think that this topic is really important because nobody likes to go outside and see trash everywhere or smell trash near their homes. It destroys the aesthetic value of the earth. It hurts the different species that live here. And if we don't take charge and control our actions and the way that we're producing waste in such a rapidly increasing way, then it's just going to get worse. So that's why we need to work on managing this better. So as far as reducing waste at home, there are so many different ways. You can do it in the kitchen, you can do it with your clothing, you can do it anywhere. So one way to reduce waste in your home is by composting in the kitchen. Composting is a way to reduce the amount of food waste you produce, because food waste is a huge issue and there's so much created that we don't use. But we can compost, which is a natural way of breaking down different food scraps and yard waste and things like that, in order to make a stable soil amendment that can be used again. So there are so many different ways of composting. I know if you want to make your very own compost bin, there are good how-tos on Apropedia, which is actually a website that was started by a professor at HSU. If you live on campus, you can compost by going to places like CCAT, which has a composting area for the campus community, or you can simply put your food items and cardboard and things like that into the composting bins around campus, which are located near the trash cans. As far as reducing food waste and making something that you yourself can use later, I like to make my own veggie broth. So I also use the food scraps from vegetables I've cut up, maybe from the ends of carrots or tomatoes, different things like that. I put it into a mason jar in the freezer. Usually it's a mason jar that I've used from maybe a pasta sauce container or something before that. So you can just put your food scraps into a reused container, throw it in the freezer, and when it's all frozen, or when you've accumulated enough food scraps to fit in one pot, you can put it in a pot, fill it with water, and boil it, and suddenly you have your own veggie broth. Other things that you can make yourself include dog food and dog treats, which could make your dog feel special and also reduce the waste of the packaging that the dog treats would probably come in. And you can also even make your own soap. I know that there are different places where you can buy ingredients for making soap in bulk. One such location would be Moonrise Herbs on the Plaza in Arcata. But how I typically go about reducing the waste produced by soap is by just buying a bar of soap that isn't wrapped in anything. There are pretty good local ones, or you can even get them online. Another thing that I get online in order to reduce waste is plastic-free deodorant. It just comes in a little cardboard box, and it's just a deodorant bar. So that reduces all of the plastic that would be produced, I don't know, every month or so when I go through a bar of deodorant. There are so many things in your home that you can reuse and repurpose as well. Some of these include boxes that were shipped to you in case you got deliveries. You can use those to send things again. Like if you have family far away and you make them cookies for Christmas, you can send those in a reused box. Boxes can also be used for getting groceries instead of a bag, maybe. I know that a lot of grocery stores encourage bringing your own bags or containers to take your food home. And a few other things that can be reused include sponges, toothbrushes. Although they're already used for cleaning, once they get old, they can be used for cleaning again. Like if you have rubber on your shoes that gets dirty and it's white, maybe you can use an old toothbrush to scrub that out, or different small things like that can be detailed with old toothbrushes. And sponges can be used again. Maybe you're finished using it in the kitchen, and then you can use it to clean your bathtub. So, on to minimizing waste on the go or in public. I know that shopping creates a lot of waste, and eating and drinking out can also create a lot of unwanted waste as well. I've noticed that this has increased significantly since all of the health regulations have been put in place due to the coronavirus, but there are still ways to get around this. So it can be hard to minimize the waste that one produces while you're out and about if you don't plan ahead appropriately. So it might take some time adjusting to adopting these practices, but if you're mindful and you think about, I want to reduce waste today, it's not too hard. So as far as shopping, I mentioned before, you can bring your own boxes or bags to carry your groceries home. If stores are saying no bags right now because of the coronavirus, I like to just say no bags, put my groceries in my cart, walk outside and put it in my bags because they don't have a problem with that. Also, if you happen to go out to get coffee or something to drink at maybe a coffee stand or a coffee shop, a lot of times you're welcome to bring your own cup and they'll fill it. Another great way, even if you're not going to go out and purchase something to drink, is you can bring your own reusable water bottle. There are also glass straws, I know, that are made by local glass blowers, so those are pretty cool if you can't just say no to a straw. And as far as takeout, I typically tend to take my own spoon or fork with me, or just bring the takeout home and say no to a spoon or fork. And you can also just say no to a straw. As far as reducing waste in the workplace can mean so many different things right now. Like our workplace is currently our homes, but typically our workplace would probably be school. So in that type of setting, we can focus on reducing different types of paper waste and things like that. So recycled paper notebooks, that does reduce waste in the long run by recycling, but there are also other good alternatives to using paper, such as planning online, like using Google Calendar or other virtual planning resources. And myself, especially being able to scan and upload our assignments due to the online teaching mode, I really like to use a chalkboard or whiteboard. So I'll just write down my answers or show my work on my whiteboard. I'll take a picture of it, scan it, turn it into a PDF, and then I can turn that in. So those are just a few of the different ways to use alternative forms of planning, and thank you for listening to my